guys, Nightshade here, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I've updated the guides for all the reflections that we currently have in our version of the game, including the ones that are in index but have not been released yet. As usual, this includes every single attribute and ranks every single reflection from UR, SSR to SR. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. So I do want to set out a disclaimer, mainly because I want you guys to understand that these guides are made in mind for endgame content. What I mean with endgame content is basically having the strongest reflection currently available in the game so that you may breeze through stages easily. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need this reflection, because there are other good alternatives. I know that the game accommodates a wide variety of playing styles. We have free-to-play players, we have moderately spending players, and we have whales such as myself. Anytime that an event releases, it normally comes along with a reflection. Sometimes these reflections will surpass the current ones that we have available in the game, but most of the time they are on lower tiers. However, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't aim to get the reflection. Ultimately, reflections do serve a purpose other than your styling power. Do remember that if you do want to obtain a full suit recolor, you do need the designer reflection in order to awaken the suit. Also, suit recolors are always stronger than their original colored components. Not to mention that when you get to a certain stage in the game, such as the team battles in Concept Voyage, you do need more than one reflection of the same attribute in order to be able to complete the stage, such as the ones displayed here. As you can see, I haven't really worked on leveling up my SSR purple reflections, so I only have my UR and 2 SR reflections. Another prime example of what I just displayed is on your solo mode for Memory Stairway. When you go into the True Self realm, if you click on it, you will notice that you need 3 reflections of the gold attribute in order to complete the stage. While I do know that resources are definitely limited in the game, and that you oftentimes run out quickly, you do want to keep in mind that you don't have to start leveling up everyone immediately, but you do want to keep some people in reserve so that when this time eventually comes, you'll be prepared. So now, moving on, these are the reflections that are currently top tier for the green attribute. This is Hestia, a reflection obtainable by hitting VIP 16. Let's pretend that she doesn't exist for a moment, and the next best reflection that you can possibly get in the game is actually Mercury from the arena. Even as it is now, as someone that owns Hestia and has her recolored suit, Mercury's suit in the arena is still OP. Like, his recolored set is the item that you should be wearing in the arena. And now with the Idea Lab recolored pink version, that one will now take over. So this is certainly something that you would want to strive for. If ranking wasn't your thing, or if you started playing a little bit later in the game, then your optimal choice would be Gleaming Vines, as this is a reflection that you can get for free and actually grind for daily in order to get the echoes. As far as future reflections go, I actually don't see any of the events coming anytime soon to our server for these reflections, so I can say that you should be good to spend your resources on whatever reflection you currently have that is on the top listing of this guide, as opposed to just saving your resources. So let's talk sexy. That's right, the purple attribute is up next. So the god tier reflection currently in our server for this category is actually a reflection that costs a whole lot of money. And that is our #1 reigning supreme bad boy, Mercury. This reflection is a reward for hitting VIP 22. And might I say that the suit that accompanies this reflection is absolutely stunning. It is a dream of mine to get to V22. Anyways, we'll pretend that reflection does not exist and we'll skip right next to what's under it. And that is our baddie Lilith. We love her. Like, we love her. I don't know, we feel bad for her. Like, it's complicated. So once again, this is a reflection that is dependent on your RNG. Some of you may have her, some of you may even have her echoes, and some of you might not have her at all. Ultimately, most of the time, any UR reflection is actually one of your best investments, like safe and secure. But I know that they're not always obtainable. So if you don't have her, you want to go for Nikki Summer Sea Breeze. As well, ultimately, if you don't have any of these reflections, and you had already been working on Caprico, you can go ahead and stick to him. I do want to point out though that as new reflections do start coming out, Caprico will actually end up being somewhere at the very bottom of the list. I know it's hard to let go of a reflection that you've already invested so much in, but eventually, as the game grows, that is an occurrence that you do need to prepare yourself for. If you don't have any of these reflections and you are looking for a very good and strong and still very much god tier reflection in the Chinese server, I would suggest holding out until we get the Star Sea suit. Star Sea is a lifetime suit that we will eventually get in our server, chances are pretty soon. This suit comes with its own reflection, and that reflection is actually still ranked pretty high up in the Chinese server, number 5. Lilith being in number 3, and Mercury still holding that number 1 spot. These are currently the best reflections for the pink attribute that we have in game. If you watched my last video, you saw the updated guide. As you can see, our bad boy, or should I say good boy, Lowen is currently number 1. We love that. He is the best pink attribute reflection that you can have currently in game, with Nightbane following in second. Of course, I know that this reflection was not the easiest to obtain. I have heard horror stories throughout the entirety of the event in the global server of people having to pull anywhere from 260 and above in order just to get the reflection, which is honestly crazy. But he definitely is well worth it. Even as we speak now, he currently ranks at number 2 in the Chinese server, so he is definitely still very much god tier. The reflection that holds the number 1 spot is this one, as I shared in my previous video. Once again, this event is also an event that won't be coming till the far future, so if you do have the resources, go ahead and spend them all on Lowen. However, if this was not at your reach, we still do have 2 other great options, which are Nightbane and Leonid. These are the current bust reflections for the gold attribute. Lowen currently is god tier. Of course, Xinyi following in close second. As far as skill points go, the difference is only a mere 424. However, when comparing the skills for Lowen are a bit better, as Lowen will give you a 20% score increase when you use him in the shoe and hosiery round, as opposed to Xinyi, which will give you a modeling skill bonus by 57.1%, which is, yes, astonishing. It is a great amount. However, it only lasts for 10 seconds. Wow, you're literally multiplying 20% for the whole amount of time that the shoe and hosiery round is in place for Lowen. Overall, of course, if you are a free-to-play player, Xinyi would be your optimal option, as you can get his echoes for free by simply grinding non-stop every day. Where in comparison to Lowen, it is dependent on your RNG, and even then, it would take a very long time to secure all the items from his suit from a pavilion drop, and even at that, you still have to wait to get the echoes. So that sounds like a greater eternity than just farming. As it is, both of these reflections still currently hold a top tier ranking in the Chinese server. Lowen ranks at number 3 and Xinyi following close behind in number 4. For the other 2 reflections that are even more powerful than these 2 handsome boys, we won't be getting those anytime soon. So lastly, these are the current reflections that are top tier in our game server for the blue attribute. If you're anything like me, you hate this attribute with all your being. And that is mainly because we don't have anything that's really that good for the blue attribute yet. The one reflection holding the #1 spot for that is currently Lowen, but Lowen is behind a paywall because he is a reward for reaching VIP 14. Let's pretend that he doesn't exist for a moment. Who would be your next best bet? That would actually be Nikki before the dawn. And once more, if you don't have her, the next option to strive for would actually be a future suit that we will be getting in game. You can already find this available in Index, and that is Netga Speedy Rabbit. Lastly, the reflection that I recommend all the time is actually Zoe. And this is mainly because, once more, Zoe you can actually get for free as long as you're up for grinding. If you farm the designer intel hub, you can get her for free and all her echoes. Not to mention, if you're lucky enough, you can actually have her drop in the Sea of Mystery or Sea of Fantasy. Zoe actually carried me in the arena for such a long time before I ended up getting Lowen. And even once I got Lowen, I didn't level him up. I continued to use Zoe till I actually was able to get enough resources to level Lowen up. So I definitely, 10 out of 10, still recommend Zoe. As far as what reflections are coming in the future for the blue attribute, the only one that I could say that we would be expecting soon is one from another future hell event. I know that we may be super impatient now, but in the future, we are going to be getting several UR blue reflections, and these are some of the ones that are available. The #4 rank in the CN server is actually from a future lifetime suit that we will be getting. So there you have it, guys. That is it for today's video. I do apologize for the guide taking a while to go up. The reason for me taking such a long time to update the guide was mainly because I wanted a few events to accumulate before I actually ended up adding the reflections and making a video off of it. I don't know, I feel like updating videos like every week or so would just be kind of weird as far as designer reflection ultimate guide goes. I wish that there would be an easier way for me to distribute these guides. I honestly was thinking about finally opening my own Discord server, but honestly, I don't have the time to manage it because I either work, spend time with my boyfriend, do stuff for school, sleep, or I'm editing and trying to record a video. So there's a time crunch. I am trying to figure something out though, but a Discord server should probably be in the works soon. Anyways, enough rambling. I will try to figure out a way to get these guides out faster to you than actually having to wait for a video. I hope that you found this video helpful and you were able to get any answers that you needed from it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will make sure to respond as quickly as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see y'all later. Bye!